All right. So we are here. We're getting ready to kick off our live tasting of week 3 of Rosé Almay. It is a Provence style rosé. We're really excited for it. I know Lauren and I have been holding out for this one. This is our favorite style. I'll do a quick intro to the wine. It is this Chateau de Clapiere Rosé from Provence. It is 40% Grenache, 40% Cinsault, and 20% Syrah. Lauren, how's it going?
Amazing. How are you today?
Good. I'm really good. It's a little hectic. We have family in town, but it's great.
Oh, why would you want to go ahead and do a thing like that?
I know. It's actually been great. I'm really close
okay.
to husband's family, so it's been really fun.
You're a masochist. There's a reason I have my family in town.
I know. Yeah.
But I'm like really happy and excited because it's Friday and it's Rosé Almay and
yes.
I just want to keep rhyming. I'm sorry. I'm like, I digress.
Your Rosé DNA.
But I also, right? And like Rosé Play and
yep.
I also have like this beautiful color is one of the things that really is like exciting me, like no one's business right now.
Yes, I know. So we're going to go through the same steps as the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So when I pour a glass of wine, and first of all, this is a Burgundy glass, and one of the cool ways to know which glass you should pour your wine in is if you invert the bottle, and don't worry, I have a cork in this, it'll give you a similar shape in the bottle. And so I was like, what does this bottle look like? It looks like a Burgundy glass upside down. So I'm going to put it in a Burgundy glass, and that's kind of one of the tricks. But, like 80% of the time, you're pretty right. Not always. I put a little too much in this, so I'm not going to swirl it too intensely because I don't want to slosh it on my computer because those things are expensive. So I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing it's very Provence looking. It's very pale, and it's not pink. It's a pale apricot. Yeah. It's like a very wonderful pale apricot. And so I'm looking at it and I'm seeing some nice glass residue here, but also it's just wicking right off the edges, which leads me to believe cool climate, kind of beautiful, delicate legs, very consistent with what a cool climate wine typically denotes. And yeah, and if we go ahead and smell it, yeah. Anyone want to chime in on what they smell?
Sorry, I had something pop up.
And I always tell people there's no wrong answers. Like you can literally be like, I smell raspberry Jolly Ranchers. And I'd be like, I see that. I see how you get
We will support you in your aroma.
But don't say blue cheese. I had someone at a WineUp event who said blue cheese once. I was like, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I actually didn't say he was wrong. I was like, interesting.
This one does, my absolute favorite Provence style is Gerard Bertrand's Côte de Roses.
Yeah.
It's comparable. I still get that sort of hard candy. Mm-hmm. Like almost sweet tarts or it's not
totally.
With Gerard Bertrand, it's all cotton candy. But I feel like this one's a little softer on that powerful, sweet smell.
I'm wondering if Alicia smells anything. I totally get that. Are we not saying she's in here? Oh, okay.
I've definitely got Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, oh, I like it. But which one? Like
strawberry?
Strawberry? Yeah. Cool.
Rosé is known for being like very robust in strawberry aromas. I always like to think of it like watermelon too. Like Provence style rosés are more of like the green pithy part of the watermelon, and then California rosés tend to be more of like the center juicy red part of the watermelon. Yeah. This one to me, I totally love your tasting note of candy, like sweet tarts, and it reminded me of pixie sticks. Do you remember the pixie sticks?
Oh yeah.
So you just get like a nose full of pixie sticks on this. And then also what's the sour peach rings?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely a peachy. I honestly think, that the apricot color, but also it's a peachy apricot.
Yeah, peachy apricot. And I think like the color too is throwing me off. because I smell peachy. And then, okay, so here's another thing is like, yes, I smell fruit, but I'm also smelling a lot of flowers. So I always tell people to try to break it up into 2 categories, fruit and non-fruit aromas, because every wine has both of those categories, whether it be oak or herb or tea or flowers. Those are all non-fruits. And this one, I'm totally getting a lot of like floral sachets, like the things you throw in your underwear drawer to make your clothes smell better. Like I'm getting a lot of that, like the dried flowers, like
Oh, I got it.
chamomile, dried jasmine, dried tea. So interesting. I really want to taste it. Does anyone want to throw in any like, what is it?
Or is that the next step, taste?
Yeah. But I want to see if anybody else has any interesting like non-fruit aromas that they want to share.
That's definitely my weakness, is the non-fruit. I'm still getting that, ever since you've told me about the plastic shower curtain of Rieslings,
Yeah.
start to notice it in others. And I still get kind of it's a little bit of plasticky saran wrap.
Yeah, I agree with you. It has a little bit of that. Petrol.
Yeah, I think, and
like
that's hard to distinguish.
Gasoline smell.
Kind of gasoline, yeah.
Yeah. The inside of a container from the container store. That's another one of my favorites. It's true. I don't know why we smell the things that we do, but we do, and I'm totally going with it. Okay, can we smell now? Can we taste now?
Yeah, we can taste.
Okay. And that acidity. You know that you're tasting high acidity when your mouth waters.
Yeah. Oh, and it like rushes.
Mm-hmm. So acid like just creates a deluge in your mouth, and tannins kind of create a drought. And that's how you know if your wine is like acidic or tannic.
Very acidic.
Mm-hmm. But balanced with the ripeness of the fruit notes, I feel like.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know, you guys argue with me.
Yeah.
It has that much depth. I don't think there's well, it's much, I think it's lighter bodied. And it doesn't have a deep profile on, like, I expected more fruit forward, and I'm not really getting it.
I agree with you. In the back, I'm getting almost tannin. I'm getting a little bit of a sharp, like in the back, I get a little bit of a bitter.
Yeah, almost like a grapefruit, that sensation of grape.
Yeah.
Where unless you've got a really ripe one or with some sugar, it's real sharp flavor.
Yeah, like this wine is bone dry, but it's also almost got that grapefruit taste.
Yeah, sharpness.
A little bit of that bitter. I feel like it's balanced out because it is so like floral in the aroma. And you're so spot on with that complexity. Yeah, it's very complex. And I agree with you that it's like kind of light, but I feel like we've had other rosés that were lighter. I think this one has like an oily-ish feeling in my mouth.
Yeah.
And that could be there could be some contact with like grape skin. It could be the Syrah.
Yeah, that's I was just looking back at my notes, and 20% Syrah. That 40% Grenache, I don't think is really it, but I mean, that's a pretty common blend for the Provence. That's a pretty blend. Is that Grenache, Syrah, Cinsault?
Yeah. So one way to tell if a wine is going to be good quality, and not always, if it's imported into New York. So yes, it's going to be Provence, and there's a ton of Provence rosés that are great and that are really inexpensive. One of my favorites right now is $5, and it's at Trader Joe's. It's $4.99 at Trader Joe's. Oh. But one of the great ways to tell, because they make some pretty, as you can imagine, not so great rosés too. Yeah. But one of the ways you could tell is like, I feel like if it's imported from New York, it's going to be better because New York had the first rosé importer that made rosé popular again with, I think the name is Biebler. And you can buy that in a lot of grocery stores too. And he imports just only amazing rosés. So I feel like that's one way to tell.
Okay, so I don't mean to put you on the spot. I know we didn't discuss this before, but can you talk to us about any sort of like indications of like higher sulfur or do you know how does that represent itself in wines?
Old World tends to use less sulfur and less like has less sulfites.
Yeah.
The sulfur dioxide is an ingredient that they use to stop the fermentation process.
Okay.
So when they're making wine, they have grape juice, they add yeast, the yeast eat the sugar, and they kind of fart out CO2 and alcohol, and that's how grape juice turns into what is wine and turns into alcohol, right? So to stop the fermentation process, to leave a little bit of residual sugar in for a little bit more of a balanced flavor, they add things to it sometimes, and sometimes they're chemicals that are not so great for us. And that one of those things is like sulfur dioxide. Or sometimes they just chill it down, which, as you can imagine, if they like chill it down cold enough, it's going to kill off the yeast too.
Yep.
But as you can imagine, a much cheaper, faster, economical way is just to add something to it. And so French-style rosés and French-style wines in Europe in general, for that matter, tend to use less additives in their wine. And they tend to do things more old school, kind of more of like a religious way of doing things.
Cool.
Opposed to like they think so much about business and scaling like we do in America.
Yes. Yeah, they want that quality over quantity.
Yeah, and that's how they're able to do it cheaper. They've been doing it longer. And they also work for a lot less money, and they spend a lot less money on packaging and labeling and stuff like that. But that's also why American wines, like when people say, oh, I can't drink red wine, it gives me hangover. Oh, I can't drink white wine, it gives me hangover. Like that's not true. You're getting hungover because one, you're dehydrated, but two, you're drinking bad wine.
Yeah, it has higher sugars. Yep. Yeah, because the reason I ask is because I'm getting sort of this chemical taste.
Yeah.
No, I don't know exactly how to refine my description of what that chemical taste is.
So one of the things I think is, and you could be right, and I just don't know, and I agree with you, I'm getting like a little bit of that petrol kind of thing, but a lot of wines that are more organically done actually have more wine flaws and have interesting smells and nuanced aromas as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there's like a chemical or something in it. Not saying that either of us are wrong.
Yeah.
It could mean as well that it needs to breathe a little bit and aerate. And so one of the things I'm wondering, first of all, you can always get rid of wine flaws by chilling wine a little bit colder. That's one way. So if it's like too hot,
if it's too cold.
Yeah, like it's going to dull some of that. And then you can aerate it. So like the reason why I love a Burgundy glass for this, and I was taking note on this bottle that they probably want me to put this in a Burgundy glass, is because a Burgundy glass, you can really aerate it. I'm going to do it away from my computer.
Yeah.
A Burgundy glass, you can really aerate it pretty vigorously, as you can see, which is what I like about them.
Yeah.
And first of all, I mean, if that's just not like the sexiest thing you've ever seen, then I don't know what you're doing with your time.
Yeah, a good sword. So you just gotta work it. You gotta.
Yeah, one of the things I love about Alicia's website is like you hit her website, and it's all like, I love painting with wine, and it's like this wine like it's like swirling in the glass.
Yeah, if that's not attractive, I don't know.
She knows what I mean. I'm like, who is her editor, and how can I be as provocative talking about wine is what I want to know. But if you aerate it, it will pretty much get rid of a lot of that. I don't know, like it was dying in here. Like wine wants to be drank. It doesn't want to chill and sit. I mean, most of the wines that we drink today are ready to be drank now.
Yeah.
So if you vigorously do that, get back in there, give it another taste-a-rooney.
Oh, I get a lot more strawberry after a couple minutes in that aroma.
Isn't that amazing?
It seems a bit softer.
Also, I'm seeing some sediment in this glass. So one of the things that they do is Or I'm seeing a little bit of CO2 almost. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Well,
Yeah, study it a little bit more to see what it is. But one of the things is like if you get the wine glitter, the wine crystals, it's because they don't use cold stabilization.
Yeah, which is fine. If you get that, of course, I completely forget what it's called now, but you get the sediment in a white or a red wine. Looks like, but it's not actually sediment. It's when that wine dropped below a normal temperature and then rose back up. It sort of separates a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the flavor of the wine. Like it doesn't you to drink it, anything like that.
Yeah.
Even though I know the first time I had it in my glass, I was like, what is that? That is not normal. But
I also didn't, so this is cellar temperature. So cellar temperature as in, I'm clearly not in my office right now. I'm in my apartment, but I keep wines in my hallway because it's like as cold as a wine cellar. Because in San Francisco, you get that draft and all that. So I keep wines in like the actual apartment hallway. And it's like 55, 60 degrees.
Nice.
So if I were to put this in the fridge, it would be more like 40, 45, and it would just be too cold. So it's actually the perfect temperature for a rosé. So I'm getting like a ton of those, like everything you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, it's totally popping off to me. I get that weird, there's a little bit of like, I hate using the word funky because it's so overused, but there's like a.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, should we talk about our thoughts? I mean, we've discussed them, but.
Okay. Yeah, but you go ahead because I feel like I rambled.
Okay. Formally, I mean, I think there's better Provence style for the money. This one was, I want to say, it's $16.99.
Oh.
So I think you can get a little bit better for your money. But I think it's still great.
Yeah.
I'm biased towards a couple others that I just think have a little bit more depth in both the aromas and the flavor.
Yeah.
But by no means is it like what you would pour down the drain or only cook with. Like we're gonna drink this bottle. There's no problem with it. It's just I think when I pay over that $15 mark, I expect to get a little bit more for my money. And I think if anyone wanted recommendations on a more affordable wine, we all have great ones of the Provence.
Yeah. Is it my turn to share any other thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing about this wine. It's complex. I think that it's a little bit oily in the texture. I think that it's light, but it's got a little bit of an oily texture.
Yeah.
I think that screams a pairing. I think that this rosé wine, I think it just needs food. And it's interesting to me because I think that a lot of rosés are such porch pounders and they're so great on their own. But I think this wine would be great with like some goat cheese or a pate or something that you're going to spread on crackers that's a little bit creamier in texture.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that this wine would really come to life. I think that it's a little bit misunderstood now because it is so complex. And I don't think that it means anything in the quality. I think the quality is great. I think there's some complexities there that are perplexing us because we're so used to these real simple porch pound wines
quick,
like a food wine.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think you're definitely right in that. And I'm just, in terms of rosés, I'm used to a drinkable standalone rosé that doesn't need to be paired. And so I do think that this has some potential for pairing. And you know what? Honestly, we're my family's here. We probably are going to have a little snack, and I'll share. I have goat cheese. I have a really good cheddar, and I have a triple cream brie. So I'll do some pairing, and I will share what we find.
Yeah, some of those strawberry notes, just like how we brought them out when we aerated the wine, I think those would also be elevated with some brie and like strawberry jam on a baguette. Just really jam it up and just get that gooey, ooey brie and just have some of this. I think that then it would be like, oh my God, this is the best rosé I've ever had.
Yeah.
And now I'm really hungry. And but I was going to ask you that. I was like, oh, well, what are you going to eat? Please tell me.
Well, that's it. And I have a baguette. I mean, it's all going, and we have some charcuterie too. So it'll all be going together.
Oh my God. Amazing. Yeah.
We'll share
prosciutto.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think typically we're looking so much at the wine as it stands alone. And I do think there's some potential.
Yeah.
But cool. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. Rosé au May. We have more.
And we had Alicia Myers joining us. She had to jet out a couple minutes early, but that's who you heard chiming in a little bit. And I'll message her and see what she thought about the wine. What if it was style or any of that.
And if people want to join us in the next one.
Yeah, we'd love for you to join. You don't have to drink the wine with us. You can, just contribute to the discussion or whatever you like. Next week, we are drinking the Santiago Rosé. I misspoke last week, and we're here with the Clapiere, but next week is Santiago. So and I don't have the information in front of me about the Santiago, but I know it is not a, it's a Argentine, I want to say. So
I want to say Chile, Santiago, but I could be wrong.
Oh, it could be. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. But
I can look it up too.
But it is not a Provence style. Each one of the wines for Rosé au May are different.
I love that. I love how you pick them out like that. I think it's so smart, so clever.
It makes it fun. Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously with your contribution. So
yeah.
Well, good. So we'll see everyone next Friday.
Yay. I can't wait. You have to join us, everyone.
Yeah, it'll be our final week next Friday. So we hope you will join us.
Yay. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.